Hello friends, welcome back to How to Master SQL DBA with TK. And as you already know, I'm TK himself. All right, I'm very excited with the way this project is going. Let's look at the notepad. Okay, as you can see, we are here right now. So today we are going to create users and a service account on the domain controller that we just created. Remember last class when we ended by creating a domain controller, or we promoted our domain to a domain controller, right? So I think that's the right terminology to use, right? All right, so let's go to our VM. So let me click on my Hyper-V. Okay, right here, as you can see, my domain is running, right? So if I go down here, as a matter of fact, all of my 3 virtual machines are running. But if I go down here, I click on the domain. Yes, this is exactly where we ended. Remember, by the class the time ended, it was restarting the computer. So right now it's prompting us to log in. And as you can see, because now this is a domain computer, we have to put our name, right? Username and password. So remember, your username is administrator. Your username is still administrator until we create a user. Right now, we haven't created any user on the domain, so you are still the administrator. So your username should be administrator, just like that. Then your password is America, capital letter, America 2025. So the first letter again is America, just like that. And then 2025. So let's log in. So now we are logging in. So it's taking us into the domain, which is now a domain controller. Another thing that I failed to mention, I know, man, this is like the 3rd or 4th class. I should have mentioned this on day 1, right? There's something, let me minimize this so I show the class, right? So everybody understands. This server or this software that we are using, right, to create this virtual machine is good for 180 days. Do you see that? That is 6 months, right? It's a free license. So it's free for 180 days, which means it's free for 6 months, which means after 6 months, everything we are doing here, everything you are doing is going to go away like poof, and you will have to redo it again. So that's why please take the class serious. If you're really interested, learn everything. And within 6 months, if you want to continue, you can just redo everything. So I just want everyone to keep that in mind. It's not forever. So after 6 months right there, this software is going to disappear like poof. All right. That being said, now this is our domain, which is the domain controller. So now if you look at it from the outside, there's no difference, right? You're like, what makes a domain controller? Why is it a domain controller? It looks the same to me, but this is why it is a domain controller. I'll show you. If you click on your server manager, you go to where it says tools, you start going down, you will see something here that says Active Directory users and computers. Yes, that is where you can create your users and add computers and do everything. Before, we did not have that. Before, this option did not exist. But because we have created or turned this into a domain controller and created a domain, we now have this option right here, right, to create users and computers. So if you go down here to the search bar and you start typing Active Directory. So I like to do that. If you start Active Directory, users and computers, you can always pin it. Right click, pin to start, and pin to your taskbar. So it's down here too. So you don't have to go up here and look for it. It's down there. So if we click on this right here, now we see that this is the SQL domain. Another thing that let me show you, let me X out from here. Another thing, if you go to your local server right here, you click. Now you see that the work group, remember here uses a work group. Now it says domain, and the domain name is sql.com. That is another way you know you are now on a domain controller or domain computer, because it has changed. It's no more work group, it's now a domain. So, Active Directories and domain. All right. That being said, let's go and start with creating our users and our service accounts. We are going to create about 3 users. Then we are also going to create 2 service accounts that we are going to use for our SQL 01 and SQL 02. So let's get hot. So how do we create users? Again, don't worry too much about these things, right? Because what I'm doing, most of the things that I'm doing in part 1 of this training, you never do it as a SQL DBA. That's something I should have mentioned at the beginning of this video. That is handled by what is called the infrastructure or server team. But obviously, we don't have one here, so we have to act as one, right? Because as a SQL DBA, you will never create a virtual machine. You will never create users on your Active Directory. You will never configure IP address to connect your virtual machine. That is not our job, right? But since we don't have one here, we just have to do it. And sometimes also it's good to know, right? Because once you know at your company, something comes up, it's not your lane, but you have an idea what's going on, and you can always help, right? You can always tell somebody, okay, I think you should do it this way. So it's good to know. All right. So that being said, let's create our users right now. So let's click right here where it says Active Directory users and computers, right? Let's click here. So this opens up. Once it opens up, now we are here. So let me drag this so I'll show you certain things. We are here, right? This is the SQL domain. We want to go to where it says users right here. You see users? Right click on users. So it says new user. Then go all the way down again to user, click. Now we are going to create a couple of users that will have super privileges. So the users will have privileges to do anything on this computer. They'll have privileges to add users, drop users. They'll be like super users. And the reason I want to do that is because I do not want to have any permission issues, right? In a real world scenario, it might not be that case, but for the sake of this training or sake of this project, let's just give those users super privileges. All right. So the first user that I want to create is going to be user/administrator. For the first user is going to be called Shiloh or Shiloh. So the call has different names. Some people say Shiloh, some people say Shiloh. Her first name is Shiloh. Then her last name is just the letter T. Then her login is going to be Shiloh or Shiloh.t. And you will see that in most companies, that is the convention on how to create your account, right? If you start working on a company, it's going to be your first name.t. Then at the company, for example, if you're working for Google, it's going to be first name.t at google.com or at yahoo.com, at Mercedes, or whatever company you might be working for. So because it's the same place, the same format that they use in creating those accounts. Now we have this, we click next. Now we want to give Shiloh a password, right? So we're going to give Shiloh the same password we have been using for everything. It's going to be America 2025. So America 20. Oh, go back. I missed something. America 2025. Then again, we want to repeat that process under confirm it. America 2025. Now, we do not want Shiloh to change. You see, user must change password as next logon. Nope, uncheck that. It simply means that if you have ever, let's say a bank or somebody sent you like a username and password, and when you log in for the first time, it prompts you to change that password. That is simply what they did right there. If you've ever experienced that, that is the whole scenario. Also, you said user cannot change password. Also, we do not want that, right? So if we click that, it means that only the person on the Active Directory, the person creating this account, is able to change that password, but we don't want that. And also they say password never expires, right? That is not true, because when you are working, right? When you have a job, they'll click this one because they want your password to expire every after 60 days or 90 days, depending on the password policy. And obviously, when you leave that job or if you get fired or something happens, they'll disable your account, but we don't want that. So, but for the users that will create for this training, everything is going to be left unchecked. So their password is not going to expire. They can change the password, and also they don't need to change it upon the next logon. So everything's just going to stay just like that. So let's go next and finish. That's it. So we have created the first user called Shiloh. So let's create another user called Agnes. So the same thing, we click on the user right here, we go to new, we go down all the way to user, then it's going to be Agnes, just like that. Then the name is going to be K. There's going to be Agnes.K. By now, I mean, we honor the format. So go next. Then just check that, uncheck that, sorry. Then give her the same password. America 2025. Then rewrite the password under America 2025. Then you go next and finish. Then one more user. Let's create a user called Elena. So go to user, go to new. Then we go down to users again. And now for Eden, it's going to be Eden, just like that. Then Eden's last name is T. Then Eden's login is going to be Eden.T, just like that. We go next, uncheck that box, then give Eden the same password. America 2025. And over here, you come, you give it, repeat the same thing. America 2025. And you hit next, and you hit finish. All right, so that is it for all the users. Now we want to create service accounts, meaning that when we are installing our SQL, we need something called a service account. A service account is what is going to be running the SQL account, right? The SQL services, though. So how do we create that? You see right here where it says manage service accounts. Right click on that. Go to where it says, let me see, click new, all the way down to users. And here we are now going to create a service account. So the first service account that we want to create, right, it is for the HDC-SQL01. And then the name of the account is going to be CVS service -SQL01, just like that. So, oh yes, that's fine. And then we go next. Then for the service account, right, definitely, let me explain this a little bit more. Definitely, because the account is going to be running services, you definitely do not want anybody to change the account up on the next logon, right? Again, remember, we are never going to do these things, right? The server team will do it, but I'm going to explain it so you understand. Also, the account, you cannot change it, and the account does not have to expire because you don't want any account running your services to expire. Then the jobs and everything on that SQL server just stop working because of an expired account. So everything here has to be definitely left unchecked. Okay, so now let's give it a password. So it's going to be America, the same password we have been using, 2025. We go down, we give it again, America 2025. Then we go next and we click finish. Then let's create another service account. So let's right click, we go all the way down to new, we go all the way down to user, and then The next service account that we want to create is for HDC-SQL02. Put 1 by 2. Okay. Now, the name of the account is going to be SVC-SQL02. Then we hit next and we unclick here. I will give it the same password. It's going to be America 2025. And then come down here, give it again America 2025. And we hit next. And we hit finish. All right, so we have created our service accounts and we have created our users, right? So let's click right here. This is the 2 service accounts that we have created. So there's something else I want to do, right? I want to do something with those service accounts. I want to give them more privileges, right? I want to give them like elevated privileges just because they are service accounts. So if I double click on the service accounts, this opens up. I right click my mouse here. I go to properties. Now this is the service account and I need to do more to it. So let me add a little bit description. So description. What is the service accounts for? Is I can just say for SQL services, right? I can just write it for SQL services. I know I'm doing too much because we don't do this, but again, it's just in case anybody. So for SQL services, and then what office? If you know the office, you can just say, for example, you can put the Houston office or Houston location, Houston office. Then if you know the phone number of the office, you can just put 713. Let me see, you can just put 713-22222. Then for the email, you can just put the email that you got, like AG this. Okay. Now, the most important thing that we are here is this right here. It says member of right here. Click on that. As you can see right now, the service account is just a domain user, but I want to give it elevated privileges. How do I do that? Click on where it says add. Then you search, just type domain, then check name. Now I have all these different domain, for example, right? They're just domain users, but right now I want to make it a domain admin. So for the purpose of this class, I'm going to give all the users an account domain admin. Domain admin is like the highest privilege you can have because as a domain admin, you can add computers, you can delete computers, you can add people. So that's a very high privilege, right? That is not given just to anybody. But again, for the purpose of this training, let's just give those to these computers. Okay. The next thing I want to do also, I want to give it remote user. So they can use it as a remote. So we're going to give it remote desktop user. We're going to give that access to it. Then we click OK. And we click apply. And we click OK. Now we're going to do the same for HDC02, SQL02. Right click. You go to properties. The same thing. Description. This is for SQL services. So SQL. So you can just say for SQL services. Then the office again is in the Houston location. Then the phone number again is going to be 713-3345. Then the email is going to be ggg. And this. Okay. Yahoo or at Google, whatever you want to put in there. But the important stuff right here is this member of. So we click on member of, and now we click on add. Let's say domain. Let's just put domain in there. And let's check the name. I want to give it domain admin. Click OK. And let's put remote in there. And we check. I want to give it remote desktop user. Click OK. And click OK. Okay, I think That's fine. Click on apply and click on OK. All right, so we have the privileges that we want for these remote accounts, right? Now let's go to the users, right? Let's click on user. So we're going to do the same for Agnes. So we're going to do for Agnes, Eden, and Shiloh. So let's start with Agnes. Right click your mouse, go to properties. Now, who's Agnes? Agnes is a SQL DBA. So you can just put SQL DBA description. And what is her office? She works remotely. So she just put remote in there. Her phone number is 345. Her email is, you can just put ag@yahoo.com. And she doesn't have a web page. Now the important part, member of, you click on that. And now you click on add, and we put domain. Check. Then we're going to give her the highest privilege, domain admin. Okay. Then we'll make her remote user. Check the name. Add. Okay. Okay. Then we click apply and okay. All right. Agnes is done. Let's go to Eden. We do the same thing. So we have been doing the same thing over and over, right? So right now we should be used to it. So with Eden, right click. We go to properties. With Eden, who's Eden? So Eden is a SQL developer. So we're going to put SQL developer. Okay. Then Eden also works from home. So that's remote. Then Eden's phone number is 144, just like that. No email. And then member of, the important part, we add, again, domain. Let's check. Let's add Eden. Yep. We give it domain admin. Click OK. Then we go to remote. We check. Give him remote desktop. We click and we click apply and OK. So because we are doing this over and over, that's why I'm just doing it faster, because at least right now you should have an idea of what we are doing. And finally, let's finish with Shiloh. So we right click, we go to properties. So with Shiloh, or who's Shiloh? Again, she is a junior. We can just put junior DBA, junior SQL DBA. So, and she works in the office, right? So she works in Houston. And her phone number is, you can just put 346 ... Then if you want to be fancy, her email is shiloh.t@sql.com. sql.com. That's a company email. Then now she's member. What member of? The same thing we have been doing. Click right there. Click on add, and then we give her domain. We check domain admin. Click OK. And now remote. Check. And remote user. Click OK. Click OK. Click apply and click OK. All right, so we have created all the users and they are good to go. So every single user that we have created now, they have elevated privileges, which means that now, let me close from here, I can now log on to this domain computer as any of those users. I can log in as Shiloh, I can log in as Agnes, or I can log in as Eden, right? But since Shiloh is going to be the main one that we're going to be using, so our login is going to be Shiloh T. And then once we log in as Shiloh T, then we would do a lot of things. That'll be the main person that we're going to use to log in. As a matter of fact, let's log out and log in as Shiloh T. Okay, so we can just close this. And now we can come over here. And we can no, let's go over here. Let's log out. So log out, and okay, so let's come here, connect. Yeah. Okay, so sometimes click close. Okay, good. So now we can connect here. Nice connecting. Okay, so as you can see, instead of logging in as administrator, I'm going to log in as Shiloh.t. And then I'll give that password that I gave her, America 2025. Let me check the name. That's fine. And I log in. Okay, I like what I'm seeing. You see? So she is able to log in because she is now a domain user, and also she's also a domain admin. I could have logged in as Agnes, I could have logged in as Eden, but I chose remember, Shiloh again is going to be the main one. Now, we have come to the end of our class because we're able to create the service account and we're able to create users. So during the next class, we are going now to configure our IP addresses so we can join the other 2 computers to this domain so that every computer can communicate with each other and they will be under one domain. That will be the next focus. All right, class, I'll see everybody. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.